Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. I welcome you all in the mains revision series, which is started by Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, we are going to discuss the most important topic for your UPSC mains examination 2025. That is the story of a freedom struggle from Quit India movement till independence. Ji haan, that is the last phase of struggle which is important for your mains examination. A single call that shook the British Empire, do or die, that is Quit India. But how did this storm transform into a freedom? And why did Britain finally quit India in 1947? So welcome to the final phase of India's freedom struggle, where Quit India movement set the fire and post-war politics shaped India's final march to the independence in 1947. So let's explain this segment chronologically, critically and analytically, just how UPSC demands. So let's try to understand what are the topics that we are going to cover in this lecture. Background before 1942. Second, Quit India movement, causes, events, nature and impact. Then third, political developments 1942 to 45. Role of INA and international impact. Then post-war developments 1945 to 47. Then why did British finally leave in 1947? And then UPSC mains question approach. So we are going to cover this topic holistically. Now, first important thing, what is the background before 1942? So as you can see here on your screen, that the first important thing was Cripps mission, then World War II background, which was started from 1939 to 45, then fear of Japanese invasion, rising popular unrest and nationalistic pressure, and Gandhi's change in stand. These are some important events. Now, first of all, Cripps mission of 1942, which was sent by Churchill under the pressure from United States of America and China during Second World War. Now, why US pressurized or China pressurized Britain to send this Cripps mission? Because let me tell you, in December 1941, Japan attacked on Pearl Harbor, which made US to enter into the Second World War. Now, this Cripps mission offered dominion status after the war, but with the right for provinces to opt out. This was there in this Cripps mission. Now, so this is just the background. Though Cripps mission was rejected by the Indian National Congress, because Indian National Congress, they wanted reforms at the same time itself. Or Cripps mission was offering the reforms after the war, as India has already witnessed the backstabbing of British during the after the First World War. Britain has always used a policy called as carrot and stick policy. So this offer was rejected by the Congress, and because Congress saw it as divide and delay, and Muslim League also rejected Cripps mission because there was no full Pakistan demand. So why this Cripps mission is important? Cripps mission actually exposed the British doublespeak and pushed Gandhi to launch Quit India movement. Okay, Cripps mission was important for Quit India movement. It is the background. So first we are going to understand the event called as Quit India movement, which is also called as August Revolution 1942. What is the date of launch? 8th of August 1942 at Bombay, which was passed by the All India Congress Committee session. And before this movement could start, all the forefront leaders were arrested. So when Gandhi, Nehru, all these leaders were arrested, so the people, they have asked Gandhi ji that what to do now. So he gave a slogan called as do or die. So what are the causes? First of all, we need to understand what are the causes for the Quit India movement. So the first cause was failure of Cripps mission. Second cause, growing discontent over British using the Indian resources in Second World War. है ना? Like Britishers, they have announced that India is going to support the Britain in Second World War without consulting Indian leaders. That is why Congress ministries resigned in 1939. And then Japanese threat in the east and Britishers were retreating and India was vulnerable at that time. So what is the context that prelude to Quit India movement? So सबसे पहला background अगर हम देखें chronology के basis पर, so World War II. This is the most important thing, है ना? World War II, which was started in 1939 and it will be there till 1945. Now, Britain dragged India into Second World War without consulting Indian leaders in 1939. Congress ministries resigned in protest. Muslim League declared Day of Deliverance when Congress ministries resigned. That has worsened the communal tensions. And then Cripps mission was sent because Britain needed support of India. That is why Cripps mission was sent in March 1942. This was sent. And this Cripps mission was sent by the Prime Minister of Britain, that is Winston Churchill, and this mission is led by Sir Stafford Cripps. ये mission किसने lead किया था? This was led by Sir Stafford Cripps. So this was led by Sir Stafford Cripps. Now what was the aim of this mission? The aim of this mission to gain Indian support in Second World War by offering post-war dominion status. तो ये mission क्या offer कर रहा था? In post-war, that is after Second World War, post-war dominion status. Clear? So Gandhi ji said, now our demand is not for the dominion status, our demand is complete independence. Complete independence. That means British should quit India. British should quit India. This was the demand of Gandhiji. That is why Mahatma Gandhi as well as Congress rejected this Cripps mission. Gandhiji called this mission as post-dated check on a crumbling bank, which is given in your old NCERT, that is Bipin Chandra. So what they offer? Cripps mission offered constituent assembly plus provinces could opt out. है ना कि हम constituent assembly बनाएंगे and provinces could opt out, possibly partition. So this was rejected by Congress. तो इस ऑफर को रिजेक्ट कर दिया किसने? कांग्रेस ने. They did not. Why Congress rejected this offer? Because this Cripps mission did not grant immediate freedom, and Britain was giving the vague promises. Muslim League also rejected this offer. Why? Because there was no commitment to Pakistan. But what is the significance of Cripps mission? Cripps mission disillusioned the nationalist and it was the immediate trigger for Quit India movement. So let me tell you what are the causes of Quit India movement. So पहला cause क्या? Failure of Cripps mission, which confirmed that British had no intention of granting immediate independence. कि Britishers हमें immediate independence देना नहीं चाहते. Second, World War II and Indian involvement without the consent of Indian leaders. Indians were forced to contribute lives, money as well as resources for a colonial war. And then fear of Japanese invasion. Now Japan had reached already Burma. Japan attacked on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, which made US to enter into the Second World War. So Japan had reached Burma. British retreat exposed India's vulnerability. Then rising popular unrest. Another cause was rising popular unrest. जी हाँ. So rising popular unrest and nationalist pressure. So growing disillusionment with the British rule, especially among youth as well as workers. And then Gandhi's change in stand. Gandhi's change in stand. Now what was that? Now, after this failure of Cripps' offer, Gandhi, Bipin Chandra writes that Gandhi was in different mood. So Gandhi's stand was changed from non-violence to support for British, है ना? पहले फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में क्या देखा हमने? From non-violence plus support for British in early Second World War to active resistance by 1942. This was the change in Gandhi's stand. है ना? I would like to quote here one statement of Mahatma Gandhi to British: leave India to God. If this is too much, then leave India to anarchy. And with this, Quit India movement was launched. इसी के साथ लॉन्च होता है Quit India movement on 8th of August 1942. All India Congress Committee meets at Bombay and they pass the resolution of Quit India movement. And what are the demands in the resolution, Quit India resolution? First demand was immediate British withdrawal. Second, establishment of provisional government of India in post withdrawal, that there should be provisional government after British withdraw from here. And then non-violent mass movement under Gandhian leadership. Now what was the government response? Government का response क्या था? So what was the strategy? So 8th of August 1942 was decided for the Quit India movement. Now at night of 8th to 9th of August, all the top leaders, including Mahatma Gandhi, including Nehru, including Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Rajendra Prasad, all these forefront leaders of Congress were arrested. All these leaders were arrested. And Congress was declared as unlawful organization by the British. And repression was started instantly. Mass arrest शुरू हो गया, press censorship, firing शुरू हो गई. Clear? All these things were there. Now, what is the course of the movement? अब इस movement के दौरान क्या क्या चीजें हुई? So let's try to understand course of the movement. So the first phase we are going to discuss. First phase here is spontaneous mass uprisings. जी हाँ, spontaneous mass uprisings. August to October 1942. So the moment all the forefront leaders were arrested, during this period, the Quit India movement became leaderless, but it was powerful because now each and every section of Indian society is going to participate in this movement. Participation from students, women, peasant, workers, revolutionaries, everyone has participated. Then use of underground press, secret radio by Usha Mehta, coded messages were sent. These things were there. Then there are very key areas of intense action. Like if we see, so parallel government was formed. The most important feature was parallel government. ये सबसे important feature है इस movement का. Eastern UP and Bihar, major violent uprisings, sabotage of railways, attacks on police station, these events occurred. Then Midnapur, Bengal, parallel governments were established. Satara, Maharashtra, Prati Sarkar, which is also called as parallel government, and in Maharashtra the Prati Sarkar or parallel government was led by Nana Patil. Then Balia UP, temporary independent government was declared. These are some important features as well as facts with respect to Quit India movement. Apart from this, because in this movement we have seen all the forefront leaders, all the important leaders of Congress were arrested. Now, who is going to manage the leadership of this movement? Now you will see that second front of leadership will come into the picture. So third important feature was underground leadership in this movement. अब हमें इस मूवमेंट में अंडरग्राउंड लीडरशिप देखने को मिली, लाइक जयप्रकाश नारायण, राम मनोहर लोहिया, अरुणा असफ अली. They continued underground resistance so that they should not be arrested by the Britishers. And it is said that students, they have played a critical role in maintaining communication, secret Korean networks. And if we see the British repression, around 1 lakh people were arrested, jail puri bhari hui thi. Over 10,000 killed in police action or police firing, as you can see here. Clear? Use of collective fines, aerial bombing and machine guns in rural areas. For the first time, we have seen such a violent struggle in 1942. Then torture, lathi charges, public executions to terrorize the protest, ताकि लोग डर के मारे protest ना करें, protesters को डराना था. And various groups, they have participated. तो participate किसने किया? Women's ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, स्टूडेंट्स ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, रेवोल्यूशनरीज, रूरल masses in UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, everyone was participating. As we can see, women participation was very important, like Aruna Safali, flag hosting, Usha Mehta, she was running a secret radio. Then participation of student, major participation in the protests as well as strikes. Then peasants, they sabotage transport. Then they have formed local militias to fight against the British rule. And then workers strikes in Bombay, Calcutta, etc. Then revolutionaries like J.P. Narayan escaped from jail, and this led to sabotage. Then rural masses came out in UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, Bengal, Karnataka, etc. Now, what is the nature of this movement? Nature of Quit India movement. So what is the nature? First, we need to see the dimensions, then characteristic. So first thing is the nature of the movement, leaderless revolt. Ji haan. Quit India movement was leaderless. We need to understand this. Leaderless. Why? All front leaders, Gandhi, Nehru, Patel, all leaders were jailed by 9th August 1942. And then this movement was spread spontaneously. Youth participated, student participated, peasant, workers, underground networks, all these things. So this movement was mass-based, wider than 1920 NCM, wider than CDM. 1 lakh people were arrested. Spontaneous, leaderless, but deeply nationalist in nature. Peasants ने इस मूवमेंट को संभाला. Then decentralized, local initiatives led to the parallel government. Underground governments were there. Then violent and non-violent methods were there. So this movement was started non-violently, but it turned violent in many places due to police repression. And then pan-India, this movement was truly in pan-India character, except Punjab and parts of Northwest Frontier Province, it spread across India. This is the, you can say, contribution of Quit India movement. है ना? This is the contribution. Now, government repression was brutal. अब अगर हम government repression देखें, government repression. So, it was brutal. है ना? Over 1 lakh arrested. Over 1 lakh arrested. Entire Congress was banned. Entire Congress banned here. है ना? Press was censored. Public gatherings were banned. Now, the question here is, why Britain managed to suppress it? ब्रिटेन ने किस तरीके से इसको सप्रेस कर दिया, व्हाई दे वर सक्सेसफुल. फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट हियर इज सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर इमरजेंसी पावर्स. ब्रिटेन के पास क्या था, वर्ल्ड वॉर टू emergency powers. This is how you have to write in mains examination. Like, wartime control gave Britain tools to repress brutally because it was the wartime. Then second, absence of central leadership. Absence of central leadership. Okay. Now, absence of central leadership. Most Congress leaders, they arrested early before the movements could start. Then, support from some groups. Some groups, they have supported British also, है ना, like Muslim League. Now what they have said, इन्होंने कहा मुस्लिम लीग stayed away and they focused on Pakistan. Then even communists supported British. Communist also supported British. Why? Because USSR was with Britain only, है ना, in Second World War. USSR was with Britain. Then princely states, Dalits, all these groups, princely states, Dalit, depressed classes, Ambedkar, these leaders were not involved. So what is the impact? अब इसका impact क्या होगा? What will be its impact? The impact will be, though this movement got suppressed, but it became a mass awakening. It destroyed British moral legitimacy, है ना? And it was the first real push for complete independence, that is Purna Swaraj. Real way में ये था, complete independence with mass backing, है ना? So as you can see here, moral blow to British, which showed that British could no longer govern without force. Then mass radicalization, even moderate Indians, they lost faith in negotiations with British. Then it set the stage for 1946 revolts, that is direct link to Royal Indian Navy mutiny, INA trials. Then Congress popularity was increased because of this revolt. It was seen as Congress was the only party willing to sacrifice for complete freedom and no other parties. Then shift in British mindset. So finally British Empire realized that it was unsustainable to hold India after Second World War. समझ में आ रहा है? So I would like to tell you here, always try to contrast Quit India movement with 1920 NCM as well as 1930 civil disobedience movement. And when you are going to compare these movements, so Quit India movement was spontaneous, leaderless, but it was more intense. As you can see here, this table. So what is the feature? So we have compared non-cooperation, CDM, then Quit India. So goal in non-cooperation movement, goal was Swaraj. Gandhi said we are going to achieve Swaraj within 1 year. That was the political stunt of Gandhi, so that it can attract maximum number of population. Then in CDM, Purna Swaraj. But in Quit India, we need immediate independence. Non-cooperation movement leadership, Gandhi. Civil disobedience, Gandhi. But Quit India movement, leaderless after the arrest. Then violence, if we see, non-cooperation movement was mostly peaceful. Civil disobedience movement, some violence like salt satyagrah. But Quit India movement, violent in many places. Then mass participation, non-cooperation, moderate. Here CDM, in CDM movement, the participation of masses was high, and in Quit India सबसे ज़्यादा masses ने participate किया, it was very high. And then suppression. Here in NCM there was no suppression because Gandhi withdrawal this movement, early withdrawal. CDM gradual withdrawal was there, but in Quit India Britishers suppressed people brutally. Clear? So because of this, now the masses, even the Indian army, they wanted that Britishers should leave India. Clear? So I would like to quote here some statements of Gandhi, Aruna Asaf Ali, which they have used in Quit India movement. Gandhi on 8th of August 1942, he said, "We shall either free India or die in the attempt." Aruna Asaf Ali. If we talk about Aruna Asaf Ali, now what did he say? Even if all the leaders are arrested, the movement must go on. This was said by Aruna Asaf Ali. Then Ram Manohar Lohia. Ram Manohar Lohia, what did he say? Freedom will come through defiance, not pleading. These statements were said by whom? These statements were mentioned by these leaders, underground, who led this underground movement, है ना, in Quit India movement. इन्होंने underground movement led किया था Quit India movement में. समझ में आ रहा है? Then what are the political developments from 1942 to 45? Now all the leaders were arrested. तो अब इस बीच में क्या हुआ, है ना? Gandhi ji was released in 1944. Then C. Rajgopalachari formula after that, which is also called as Rajaji formula. Also called as Rajaji formula. Then Gandhi Jinnah talks based on this formula only. And then 1945 Desai Liaquat Pact. These are some important events which is important for your mains examination also. Now, first we are going to talk about Gandhi's release. So Gandhiji was released in 1944. After the fast in jail, his health started deteriorating, so British released him fearing the public outrage कि कहीं अगर गांधी जी को कुछ हो गया तो पब्लिक फिर ब्रिटिश को नहीं छोड़ेगी, जीना मुश्किल कर देगी. एंड आफ्टर दैट सी राजगोपालचरी फॉर्मूला. जी हां, सी राजगोपालचरी फॉर्मूला. व्हाट वाज दैट फॉर्मूला? व्हाई इज दिस फॉर्मूला इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट? Let me tell you, C. Rajgopalachari is the, you can say, in-law of Mahatma Gandhi. कैसे? महात्मा गांधी जी के बेटे की शादी सी राजगोपालचारी जी की डॉटर से हुई थी, है ना? तो अब यहां पर एक पटेल जी का बड़ा ही फेमस स्टेटमेंट है, वो अभी मैं आपको बताऊंगा. सो अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, सी राजगोपालचारी फॉर्मूला ऑफ 1944. It suggested partition to win Muslim League support for cooperation, है ना? And second, this is rejected by both INC as well as League. तो ये है क्या? First of all, C. Rajgopalachari formula है क्या? What are the main provisions? This C. Rajgopalachari formula is also known as CR formula. It was a complete, or you can say it was a compromise proposal which was made by C. Rajgopalachari, also called as Rajaji. And when this formula came, this formula was made in July 1944 after Gandhiji's release. Why this formula was created? So that C. Rajgopalachari can break the stalemate between Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League over the issue of Pakistan, जो political deadlock बना हुआ था. Now, what is the background of this situation? In which background this C. Rajgopalachari formula came? क्यों आ रहा है 1944 में? So first we need to understand the political situation in 1944. Now what was the political situation? What was the political situation in 1944? Second World War was ongoing. Britishers, they were not willing to quit India. Congress leaders, they were jailed after the Quit India movement 1942. but some leaders like C. Rajagopalachari were released. So, apart from this, Muslim League under Muhammad Ali Jinnah was firm on the demand of Pakistan. वो अड़े हुए थे कि हमें पाकिस्तान चाहिए. Now, Gandhi ji realized that a negotiated settlement was crucial to unite the Indians before talking to the British. Now, because of this, this formula was proposed. So, why this C. Rajagopalachari formula was proposed? Because Rajaji believed that without a compromise with Muhammad Ali Jinnah, India's independence would be delayed indefinitely. That is why C. Rajagopalachari wanted to bring Muhammad Ali Jinnah to the table by conceding something on the Pakistan issue, but not outright acceptance. है ना? So what are the main provisions of this CR formula? So let's try to understand. First, Muslim League to support the demand for India's independence from British. तो सी राजगोपालचारी में पहली चीज ये बोली कि मुस्लिम लीग को सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा किस चीज को, इंडिया की इंडिपेंडेंस को फ्रॉम ब्रिटिश. सेकेंड थिंग इन्होंने कहा, आफ्टर द इंडिपेंडेंस मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी एरियाज as decided by the plebiscite they would have the right to form a separate sovereign state or not. कि जितने भी मुस्लिम डोमिनेटेड एरियाज हैं हम वहां पर प्लेबिसाइड कराएंगे और वहां के लोगों से पूछेंगे whether they need Pakistan separate sovereign state or not. If majority of people voted for it, then Pakistan will be there. है ना? Then third thing, the plebiscite referendum would be held only after the war. C. Rajagopalachari ji ने कहा this plebiscite will be held only after the war. Okay, and this will only be held in Muslim majority districts. Muslim majority districts like Northwest Frontier Province Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province and Sindh. यहाँ पर होगा, and then in Northeast Bengal and Assam. Then another provision in this was freedom of movement and trade between the two entities. अगर पाकिस्तान बनता है, if Pakistan is going to be there, then freedom of movement as well as trade between the two entities, that is India and Pakistan, it would be guaranteed. And then religious minorities in both the regions would be protected equally. It was mentioned in CR formula. Then a common agreement would be made for defense, communication and commerce. This will be common in both the countries. Then both parties, that is Congress and Muslim League, would cooperate to form a transitional government before the independence. So before the independence, both the parties should form in their areas a transitional government. Now, why this formula was significant? Why is it significant? Let's try to understand. Now, first Congress initiative to accept the possibility of Pakistan. यहां पर हमें क्या दिख रहा है? We can understand here that Congress initiative to accept the possibility of Pakistan. This was the first Congress initiative to accept the possibility for Pakistan. Second, it was a realistic political move. Realistic political move. How? So, it acknowledged that Muslim League's demand, है ना, कांग्रेस ने इस फॉर्मूला के थ्रू क्या किया? They have acknowledged the Muslim League demand, but did not grant it unconditionally. There will be certain conditions. Clear? Then this tried to create a space for dialogue between Gandhi and Jinnah. Create a space for dialogue between Gandhi and Jinnah. Clear? These are some important things. So Gandhi used this formula as the basis for his talks with Jinnah in 1944. गांधी जी ने इसी चीज को बेसिस बनाया अपना जिन्ना के साथ बात करने का in September 1944. Now, opposition to the formula, Muslim League group, Jinnah rejected this formula. Why? Now, Jinnah said Congress had no authority to represent Muslims or decide on Pakistan. He wanted Pakistan first, not after plebiscite. Jinnah said, first Pakistan will be there, then plebiscite. Clear? Second, Congress leaders, many opposed Rajaji's concession to this partition, like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel against, he was against this. उन्होंने ये स्टेटमेंट भी दिया था जब मीडिया ने उनसे पूछा, तो उन्होंने कहा कि गांधी जी अपने समधी की ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं, है ना. So Congress leaders, many opposed Rajaji's concession to partition, and they believe it would weaken Indian unity. Then Hindu Mahasabha strongly opposed any talk of partition, and Hindu Mahasabha called CR, or you can say Rajgopalachari, as a traitor. Then Sikh, they worried about being a small minority in any future Pakistan. These were the opposition. Now, why did the CR formula fail? First thing is Jinnah's inflexibility. Jinnah's inflexibility. कैसे? He wanted full and immediate acceptance of Pakistan as a separate state, not a future possibility via plebiscite. Then second, why it was a failure? No possible ground. No possible ground. That means no common ground. Gandhi did not accept the two-nation theory, but Jinnah, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, insisted that it was the only basis. Then, third, lack of support within Congress. Lack of support within Congress. So many in Congress, including Jawaharlal Nehru, they were skeptical of compromising on the unity of India. Then, fourth reason, ambiguity on boundaries. Ambiguity on boundaries. How? So it was unclear what exactly constituted the Muslim majority areas and how they would be defined for the plebiscite. And because based on this CR formula, Gandhi-Jinnah talks took place in September 1944. Let me tell you, it was just a failure. So Gandhi met Jinnah in Bombay using CR formula as the basis. But these talks were failed because Gandhi offered cooperation in a united India, but Jinnah insisted on sovereign Pakistan. So these talks were failed. Okay, Jinnah said that Gandhi did not represent Muslims. Gandhi opposed division before independence. Gandhi ji ने कहा कि division independence के पहले possible नहीं है. So what was the outcome? These talks were collapsed and it deepened Hindu-Muslim divide. समझ में आ रहा है? It deepened the Hindu-Muslim divide. So this was the most important thing. Clear? Now, so here there's one question. So we will discuss this question after this lecture. Now, what are the post-war developments? So in 1945, Second World War was ended. So what are the developments that happened after Second World War from 1945 to 47? So after this, Shimla Conference of 1945. So by this time, all the Congress leaders were released from the jail and they were invited to Shimla Conference, and then 1946 elections, then Cabinet Mission Plan, then Direct Action Day, and then interim government. So these are some important events. Clear? Now, before we could start this, एक और बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट होता है विच इज कॉल्ड एज देसाई लियाकत पैक्ट 1945 अटेम्प्ट। जी हाँ, सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट देसाई लियाकत पैक्ट ऑफ 1945। नाउ it was just like a back channel diplomacy, back channel talks over the power sharing, so it was failed, है ना? It was a failed back channel talks. Okay, and why? Because for power sharing. Now, so what is Desai Liaquat Pact? The Desai Liaquat Pact was a secret political understanding in early 1945 when most of the Congress leaders were in jail. है ना? And who was this Desai? This was Bhula Bhai Desai. Bhula Bhai Desai and Liaquat Ali Khan. Bhula Bhai Desai, who was a senior Congress leader, head of Congress party in Central Legislative Assembly. Second, Liaquat Ali Khan, who was the top Muslim League leader, who was also a close aide of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Now, what was the goal? Now, the goal was to create a Congress Muslim League coalition government at the center during the final phase. गोल इसका ये था कि कांग्रेस मुस्लिम लीग की कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट बनाई जाए सेंटर में ड्यूरिंग द फाइनल फेज ऑफ ब्रिटिश रूल. So, what is why this pact came into the picture? So, we need to understand the background. So, the background here is late 1944, early 1945, late 1944 to early 1945. During the final years of Second World War, what was the political situation in India? Top Congress leaders, Nehru, Patel, all these were in jail after the Quit India movement, and the British were under the pressure to consider post-war constitutional reforms. Muslim League, they had grown in strength and they were aggressively pushing for Pakistan. Apart from this, INA soldiers were captured in 1944 in Kohima expedition. है ना? INA soldiers were captured. So INA trials and patriotic unrest were beginning to shake the British Empire. So in 1945, when Second World War was ended, so nationalists were tired and Britishers were exhausted. So this was the background in 1944 to 45. Now, what are the terms of the Desai Liaquat Pact? Let me tell you, these terms are basically unofficial, though these terms never formalized or documented publicly. है ना? They are never documented publicly. But इसमें था क्या? First thing was formation of an interim government at center. First provision. Formation of interim government at center. Okay, like 50-50 representation to Congress as well as Muslim League. It is mentioned in this Desai Liaquat Pact. Then equal participation of both the parties in executive council, that is cabinet and administration of the country. Now, लीग वुड सस्पेंड द डिमांड फॉर पाकिस्तान. इसमें यह भी कहा गया कि मुस्लिम लीग शुड सस्पेंड द डिमांड फॉर पाकिस्तान टेम्परली एंड कोऑपरेट विद कांग्रेस. एंड बोथ द पार्टीज, कांग्रेस एंड मुस्लिम लीग, दे वुड jointly press the British for full independence after the Second World War. Now, why did it fail? अब ये fail क्यों हो गया, है ना? So let's try to understand why it was a failure. So why it was a failure, है ना? तो अब ये फेल क्यों हो गया? Desai Liaquat Pact. The first reason, no support from party high commands. No support from party high commands. Now, Congress, from the side of Congress, Bhula Bhai Desai had no official backing. Gandhi and Nehru, they were unaware and surprised. Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah disowned the pact, Desai Liaquat Pact, and saying Liaquat had no authority. Then, second, distrust and ego. Now, distrust and ego politics. Jinnah did not want Muslim League should be seen as negotiating without his approval. Gandhi and Nehru was also irritated that Bhula Bhai Desai acted on his own. Then, third, no written agreement. No written agreement. Everything was oral or informal, which leading to the deniability by both the parties. Then, communal polarization. Now, communal polarization. By 1945, the two-nation theory had gained ground and a 50-50 formula seemed insufficient to satisfy the Muslim League ambitions. So, what are the consequences of this? Failure reinforced the distrust between Congress as well as Muslim League. On the other hand, Muslim League claimed that it was the sole representative of Muslims, rejecting any Congress cooperation offers. And Congress top brass became more cautious of the back channel deals, top command leaders. And this event set the stage for Shimla Conference of 1945. So this actually set the stage for Shimla Conference of 1945 and cabinet mission plan. Okay, because of this. Now, so let's try to understand. So now we are going to discuss the Shimla Conference. Now, what was there in Shimla Conference? है ना? तो अब शिमला कॉन्फ्रेंस स्टार्ट करने से पहले वन मोर थिंग दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, आईएनए, इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी और आजाद हिंद फौज, एज वेल एज इंटरनेशनल प्रेशर. INA, which was led by the Subhash Chandra Bose and supported by Japan. And what was the slogan of INA? The slogan of INA was Delhi Chalo, Jai Hind, give me blood, I'll give you freedom. So INA fought British in Burma, Manipur, Nagaland, Imphal, Kohima, and various INA leaders were arrested. Now, Shimla Conference. So what was there in Shimla Conference? So Shimla Conference actually proposed an executive council with Indian leaders. So before this, in June, all the Indian leaders, they were, you can say, Indian leaders were basically released from the jail. इन सभी लीडर्स, इंडियन लीडर्स को रिलीज कर दिया गया था जेल से, एंड देन इट रिजल्टेड इनटू द शिमला कॉन्फ्रेंस. ओके, नाउ why it took place? So let me tell you that Shimla Conference is important and it is one of the important event in post-war development because it proposed an executive council with Indian leaders. Then this conference was failed due to Jinnah's insistence on sole Muslim League representation. इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में लॉर्ड वेवल ने सभी कांग्रेस लीडर्स को, मुस्लिम लीग को भी इनवाइट किया था. तो अब ये कॉन्फ्रेंस थी क्या, आइए समझते हैं। इन जून 1945, in June 1945, Lord Wavell, who was the Governor General who proposed this tentative arrangement at the center with the Muslim League as well as Congress sharing power on the principle of parity. Now, what happened in Shimla conference? In Shimla conference, Congress was represented by Jawaharlal Nehru and League was represented by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. अब कांग्रेस में कुछ मुस्लिम मेंबर्स भी थे, though Jinnah agreed in the beginning to share the power with the Congress, but the conference was failed when Jinnah insisted that Congress would not nominate any Muslim member without his consent. समझ में आ रहा है कि कांग्रेस किसी भी मुस्लिम मेंबर्स को नॉमिनेट नहीं करेगी बिना उनके कंसेंट के. एंड कांग्रेस, मौलाना अबुल कलाम आजाद, दीज लीडर्स वर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, है ना. And if Congress would have accepted this, then Congress would be shown as Hindu party and Muslim League will be shown as Muslim party, है ना. और वहीं पे टू नेशन थ्योरी सक्सेसफुल हो जाती. So Jinnah said that Congress would not nominate any Muslim members without its consent in its share of portfolios, and Congress rejected this demand. So in 1945 elections, which was 1945 elections were held after the Second World War. So at the same time, अब elections ब्रिटेन में भी होने वाले थे. समझ में आ रहा है. तो ये सबसे बड़ा पॉलिटिकल डेडलॉक आ गया कहां पर, शिमला कॉन्फ्रेंस में. सो दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस वाज अनेबल टू रिजॉल्व द पॉलिटिकल डेडलॉक between Congress and Muslim League, है ना. So Congress and Muslim League both rejected this offer, है ना, which is also called as Shimla Conference or Wavell's Plan. ठीक है. Now अब सिचुएशन क्या है, 1945 Second World War ended. Second World War ended. In July 1945, Churchill lost election. Churchill lost elections in Britain, है ना. And Clement Attlee comes to power. He became the Prime Minister of Britain and he was from Labour Party. Now Labour Party came to power in Britain, and let me tell you that Clement Attlee was also a friend of Jawaharlal Nehru. So now remember this thing, the Conservative Party under the Winston Churchill lost the elections. Labour Party under the Clement Attlee came to power. In India, Congress formed the government in 8 provinces and the League formed government in Punjab, Sindh and Bengal. अब इलेक्शंस हुए 1945 के. In 1945 elections, now what was the issue in 1945 elections? The issue was in 1945 elections was INA trial. कांग्रेस ने किस इशू पर लड़ा, INA ट्रायल. एंड ऑल द कांग्रेस लीडर जवाहरलाल नेहरू, भूलाभाई देसाई, दे फॉट द केस ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द प्रिजनर्स हु वर अरेस्टेड इन रेड कोट ट्रायल्स. एंड फाइनली कहा जाता है कि पहली बार वाइसरॉय ने अपना वीटो नहीं लगाया एंड ऑल द INA प्रिजनर्स वर रिलीज्ड. समझ में आ रहा है, ऑल द INA prisoners were released and finally elections took place. So what was the outcome of the elections, है ना. अब elections का outcome क्या हुआ? So let's try to understand the outcome of the elections. Now, so what was the outcome in the election? So this elections of 1946, Congress won with majority. INC won 90% seats. INC won 90% seats, and Muslim League swept Muslim seats. So polarization was now complete. Two nation theory took the ground. And finally, अब क्या करना है? अब फिर से कोई प्लान भेजना है ना, कि अब फ्यूचर में इंडिया की गवर्नमेंट कैसी होगी. अब 90% सीट्स किसको मिली है? कांग्रेस को. मुस्लिम लीग गॉट मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी एरियाज सीट्स. नाउ so finally in January 1946, so what happened in January 1946? Prime Minister Clement Attlee announced that all party delegation, Attlee announced that all party delegation will be sent to India in British Parliament, that they are going to visit India and to decide on the question of transfer of power. Decide on the question of transfer of power. Okay. Now, finally, in February 1946, now timelines are very important. February 1946, all party delegation visited India. All party delegation visited India, है ना? And they favored the transfer of power. At the same time, from 18th of February to 23rd February, इंडिया में एक इवेंट हो गया. आईएनए ने, आर्मी ने पार्टिसिपेट कर लिया. तब कौन बचा था? नेवी. रॉयल नेवी ऑफिसर्स in Bombay, Colaba, Kochi, Karachi, as well as Kandala, they revolted at the same time against the racial discrimination of the British, against the British military administration, and the riots that followed, called as Bombay Naval Ratings. This event is called as Bombay Naval Ratings. So this Bombay Naval Ratings were from 18th Feb 1946 to 23rd Feb, 23rd Feb. And finally, this is considered as the last act of protest in the freedom struggle. And then in March 1946, Prime Minister Attlee announced for cabinet mission. Ji haan. In March 1946, Prime Minister Attlee announced that a cabinet mission would visit India to decide the modalities of transfer of power. So this was the last effort to preserve Indian unity, cabinet mission plan. This was the last effort. And this cabinet mission proposed federation with three groups. That is Group A, Group B and Group C. Group A Hindu majority, Group B Muslim majority and C Bengal areas. Now, initially this cabinet mission plan was accepted by both, that is INC and Muslim League, but later it was rejected due to Muslim League insistence on Pakistan. So Muslim League was insisting on Pakistan. So the demand of Pakistan, which was given by the Muslim League, was rejected by the cabinet mission. Now this cabinet mission consisted of Sir A.V. Alexander, as you can see here, this image. So cabinet mission plan, who was the chairman of this cabinet mission plan? Sir A.V. Alexander, as you can see here, Sir A.V. Alexander. So Sir A.V. Alexander, who was the chairman, and other two members were Sir Pethick Lawrence and Sir Stafford Cripps. Pethick Lawrence and Stafford Cripps were there. Now, what are their recommendation? इन्होंने क्या recommendation दी? Their recommendation were a union of government of India. First, a union of government of India, a union government of India. Then a center with limited subjects of power. A center with limited subjects of power like defense, करेंसी, कम्युनिकेशन, इसकी पावर होगी सेंटर के पास. देन प्रोविंसेस विद कंप्लीट ऑटोनॉमी, प्रोविंसेस विद कंप्लीट autonomy, this was also there. And then cabinet mission plan also recommended for constituent assembly and interim government should be made. ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट रिकमेंडेशंस है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली एंड इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट. कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली कंसिस्टिंग द मेंबर्स इलेक्टेड बाय द प्रोविंशियल लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज and the members nominated by the princely states. तो constituent assembly में कौन होंगे? The members who are elected by the members of provincial legislative assembly and nominated members from princely states, है ना? This was mentioned in cabinet mission plan. And the most controversial recommendation was its grouping pattern, है ना? ग्रुपिंग पैटर्न ऑफ डिवाइडिंग द प्रोविंसेस इनटू 3 ग्रुप्स. इंडिया की प्रोविंसेस को 3 ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड कर दिया गया, ग्रुप ए, ग्रुप बी एंड ग्रुप सी, है ना? अब ग्रुप ए में ऑल इंपॉर्टेंट प्रेसिडेंसीज, मद्रास, बॉम्बे, ऑल दीस थिंग. ग्रुप बी में कौन सी थी? ग्रुप बी में मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटीज, पंजाब, सिंध, नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस. ग्रुप सी बंगाल एंड आसाम. सो now cabinet mission, याद रखिएगा, cabinet mission outrightly rejected the idea of Pakistan. अब एक तरफ कैबिनेट मिशन क्या कर रहा है? पाकिस्तान के आइडिया को रिजेक्ट कर रहा है. दूसरी तरफ आप कंप्लीट ऑटोनॉमी दे रहे हो स्टेट्स को. इसका मतलब क्या है? दैट दे वांटेड टू क्रिएट पार्टीशन, है ना? पार्टीशन करना चाहते थे. Clear? So cabinet mission plan outrightly rejected the idea of Pakistan as it argued that creation of a small province of Pakistan would result in tremendous, you can say, dislocation of resources, and this plan is not viable. And at the same time, in July 1946, elections were there. अब July 1946 में elections थे किसके? Constituent Assembly. So in July 1946 elections were there for constituent assembly. Who is going to elect the members of constituent assembly? The members of provincial legislative assemblies and nominated members of princely states. So in July 1946 elections were held for the constituent assembly where Congress got 205 members, 205. Congress got 205 members, okay, and Muslim League को कितने मिले? Muslim League got 73 members. Muslim League got 73 members. Now, Muslim League was not happy with this idea. Polarization was now complete. Two nation theory took the ground. Okay. Now, what is going to happen? Now, in August 1946, Muslim League rejected cabinet mission plan as well as boycotted constituent assembly. August 1946, Muslim League rejected this cabinet mission plan as well as constituent assembly. Okay, and now 16th of August 1946, Jinnah observed this day. This day was observed by Muslim League as Direct Action Day, which is also called as Calcutta killings, Calcutta riots. Around 4,000 plus were killed. It was started in Noakhali. Communal tension was spiraled. समझ में आ रहा है? Direct Action Day for materializing the idea of Pakistan. पाकिस्तान के लिए इतना बड़ा communal riot हुआ communal riot was started first in Noakhali in Calcutta, spreading to different parts of the country. And at that time, the Chief Minister of Bengal, Sayyid Suhrawardy, the Chief Minister of Bengal, openly supported Direct Action Day. और स्लोगन क्या था? स्लोगन क्या था मुस्लिम लीग का? लेकर रहेंगे पाकिस्तान, लड़के लेंगे पाकिस्तान. That was the slogan. Finally, as you can see here, these news cuttings, on 2nd September 1946, interim government was formed. At that time, Governor General Lord Wavell formed the interim government, and Lord Wavell himself was the president and Jawaharlal Nehru as the vice president of interim government. And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was made as Home Minister, and later Muslim League also joined this interim government, and Muslim League candidate Liaquat Ali Khan was given the finance portfolio. Liaquat Ali Khan को कौन सा portfolio दिया? Finance portfolio. So Muslim League joined later and created a deadlock in this. So Muslim League ने कब join किया? Muslim League joined this in October 1946, this interim government. And Liaquat Ali Khan was given the finance portfolio, and later Muslim League boycotted the interim government in October 1946 only. And after this, as you can see here, interim league members, after this, what happened? Finally, on 9th of December 1946, Constituent Assembly first meeting took place. 9 December 1946, Constituent Assembly first meeting took place. And on 11th of December 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was elected as the president of Constituent Assembly, and B.R. Ambedkar was made the chairman of drafting committee. This was there till 1946. अब सवाल ये उठता है, why did British leave in 1947? Though UPSC loves this analytical question, so let's break it. First is internal pressure. Britishes क्यों छोड़ेंगे इंडिया को? Internal pressure. Quit India movement or revolt showed mass unrest. INA impact, collapse of loyalty in armed forces. Then Royal Navy mutiny in February 1946. Even military as well as Navy also revolted. Then external pressure. Britain economically exhausted. Then pressure from US and USSR. Though these two became the superpower after the Second World War to decolonize. Then global anti-colonial sentiments were there. Then political realities. Civil war-like situation was there in India. Communalism was there between Hindus and Muslims. Then partition was seen as the political, or you can say practical solution. This was the main reason that why Britishers, they are going to leave India. Because partition was seen as only the practical solution. Now, India's independence. So what are the important events? Attlee's Declaration of February 1947, then Mountbatten Plan and Indian Independence Act. तो सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे Attlee Declaration की. So let's try to understand about Attlee Declaration. So Prime Minister Clement Attlee, as you can see here, in February 1947, Prime Minister Attlee announced that power would be transferred to India. Power would be transferred to India not later than June 1948. And for that, Lord Mountbatten, इसी declaration में they have announced that Lord Mountbatten will be sent to India as last Governor General to India. And in March 1947, advent of Mountbatten. Advent of Mountbatten. And finally Mountbatten came, and then he started a meeting with all the Indian leaders, and finally on 3rd June he created a plan called as Mountbatten Plan or Partition Plan. This is also called as Partition Plan. This plan was created finally. है ना? Now, what was there in 3rd June plan or Mountbatten plan? So let me tell you. First, this plan provided for the demarcation committees. अब इसमें पहला provision क्या था? Boundary demarcation committees will be there. So demarcation committees should be set up for India as well as Pakistan. Then plebiscite. Now this plan says that plebiscite in Muslim majority provinces like Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province in the west, as well as Sylhet district of Assam. Plebiscite in Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, these were in west, and then Sylhet district of Assam, Sylhet district of Assam, on the question of joining either India or Pakistan. Then apart from this, princely states in this plan. Now princely states were given the right of self-determination, that is right to either join India or Pakistan or to remain independent. And finally, a bill on the transfer of power to India and Pakistan, which is called as India Independence Bill, was created. है ना? तो अब after this plan, on 14 July 1947, based on this plan, India Independence Bill was introduced in British Parliament. ये कहां पर इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ? In British Parliament, है ना? And finally this bill was passed on 18 July 1946. This bill was passed and it became Indian Independence Act, है ना? So it became Indian Independence Act. And finally this will be enforced on 15 August 1947, the day of our independence. है ना? So this bill also provided for the appointment of 2 governor generals for India as well as Pakistan. है ना? Who is going to be the governor general? So let me tell you, the Jinnah was the first governor general in Pakistan and Liaquat Ali became the first prime minister of Pakistan. Clear? And India, Mountbatten, and the prime minister would be Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so in this way we can say that this Quit India movement, this marked a turning point in India's freedom struggle. This is considered as the last phase of struggle. So this is about from Quit India movement to India's freedom struggle, and this is one question which you can practice. Quit India movement marked a turning point in India's freedom struggle. Discuss its significance in the light of subsequent political developments leading to independence. So how will you write? It is very easy. Finally, we have discussed each and everything with respect to Quit India independence till freedom struggle. So introductions, first of all, you have to mention the introduction. So what you are going to write in introduction? You can start with quotation. इतने सारे quotations हैं आपके पास. for your best presentation. Quote Mahatma Gandhi or mention Cripps offer in the backdrop. Then in the body of this answer, what you are going to mention? Causes, only in bullet points. Then nature, and then consequences. है ना? Causes, nature and consequences or impact of Quit India. Then you can also link it to INA, 1946 election, cabinet mission, communal tensions. And at last, you can give a wonderful conclusion. And what should be the conclusion? Freedom was now inevitable. 1942 had lit the final fire. When Gandhi said, "Do or die," the nation stood up. And from every jail cell, battlefield, and the burning street, the message was clear that India would never be the same again. And after Quit India movement, that is, in just 5 years, the world's biggest empire had no choice but to bow out. So overall, so this is how you can mention the conclusion. Conclusion should be impactful. So this is all about the story from Quit India movement to freedom struggle, or you can say to India's independence. So this was not just the story of independence. This was the story of how ordinary people, from farmers to soldiers to students, who rewrote history. So this is all about your mains examination. So finally, we have completed this topic, and this is important for your mains 2025. So like, share and subscribe our channel Legacy IAS Academy if you want more such UPSC power packed lectures, and comment your doubts, and let's crack mains together of 2025. Thank you so much.